But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul.
Loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet.
It's in the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men.
Sports analyst StephenASmith did not hold back when addressing Jake Paul's recent fights. He slammed Jake's pattern of targeting significantly older opponents, calling it not just exploitative but dangerous, referring to the planned bout with 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Smith labeled the matchmaking unethical, arguing that aging legends are being lured back into the ring with massive paydays at the cost of their health. It's time to take the gloves off literally and figuratively, Smith declared, accusing Jake of prioritizing profit over fair play.
These are the kind of things that I'm talking about here. Boxing's a skill. Let me give y'all an example. Remember Francis Ngannou? Remember that monster? That Nigerian nightmare? Remember him? And then we saw him show up and show a little skill against Tyson Fury, who came there out of shape. What happened when he got into the ring with Anthony Joshua? He got put to sleep much in the same way Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Boxing is a skill. Jake Paul is a professional. He trains. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Beterbiev, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation.
During the 7th round of Jake Paul's fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., confusion erupted online. Fans noticed that some platforms had already listed Jake as the winner before the final bell. This early display sparked immediate accusations of rigging. Many questioned how the result could be known in advance unless the outcome had been predetermined. For skeptics, this wasn't a technical glitch, it was potential evidence of behind-the-scenes orchestration.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google. Google it yourself. Peace.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s performance left many fans baffled. For much of the fight, he remained oddly passive, uncharacteristic for a boxer of his pedigree. His lack of aggression led viewers to question the fight's legitimacy when Chavez finally threw a few punches in the final rounds. It felt more like an attempt to save face than a strategy to win. The term fake Paul trended online, implying Jake wasn't facing real opposition, but rather participating in something closer to theater than combat.
Under 40 in 6 months. And he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48 adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay? There's numerous angles here, right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. In the last few rounds he had a little bit of pace. Even then, fake Paul just clings on though. Fake Paul's, I've been saying this, fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand and let's have a look. Let's work here. If he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out. Slap, slap, slap. No, all this talk of power. These dudes, Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dinghy arms. Big rubber, soft. Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on, well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zerdo situation. Oh, Zerdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zerdo didn't sell.
Twitter lit up after the fight, with many fans expressing doubt about the legitimacy of Jake's win. One user tweeted, "Jake Paul fight clearly rigged, no way a real boxer sat there for 8 rounds barely throwing a punch, then suddenly looked fresh as hell in the final 2. Nah, you can't tell me nothing." This sentiment echoed widely as more fans began to question not just this fight, but the overall trend of spectacle-driven mismatches, while the influencer boxing scene continues to attract massive attention. Purists worry that the soul of the sport is being eroded by showbiz over substance.
So many politics, even with, MMA, man, there's so many politics. There's no more art anymore. It's just, let's get an influencer in there. I get it. It's like generating money because our attention span is so short. You look at clips now, it's like 7 seconds. I saw a dude slamming a lady the other day and they were like, oh my God, that dude is, I'm like, well, what the do? I'm just going to pick somebody and slam them. Where's the whole video? And our attention span is just so small. So money talks, of course. Yeah, let's get an influencer in there who has no style, but it draws attention. It's just dumb to me.
Another theory gaining traction is that Chavez Jr. wasn't paid to throw the fight, but simply didn't prepare for it, with only 13 punches thrown during the entire bout. Some believe Chavez viewed the match as an easy paycheck rather than a serious contest. Critics argue that Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. should have stepped in to protect the family legacy from what many consider a public embarrassment. For them, it wasn't rigging, it was resignation.
Results, a couple of shocking results. I think that Jake Paul undercards and the promotional arm of his brand, I think, is the most fun part of what Jake Paul brings to boxing. Honestly, I think long term, I think that's what we can hold hope for. Because Jake's fights are, this one was borderline atrocious, and kind of the writing was on the wall. But I gotta admit, even I drank the Kool-Aid, and mainly I drank the Kool-Aid because Chavez Sr., who also is disgraceful for doing this, made me believe, and I think, this has been the problem with Chavez Jr. He's been enabled constantly by the media, the promoters, his family, and all this other stuff. So he never really shows up prepared. He never cares and just shows up to get paid and basically steals the bag every single time. And he did it tonight again. The reason I actually thought this fight had a chance was because Chavez Sr. Guaranteed us that his son was motivated and was having a training camp. So, as much of a Hall of Fame career as the father had, he's the con artist, I guess, must run in the family, because Junior has been a con artist his whole career, but at least he's been enabled through it, But now the father doing this, I mean, you knew already your son wasn't going to be ready. You put your own reputation on the line and sold us this crap. And then ultimately your son throws what most guys will throw in a round. He throws it through 10 rounds. It was actually kind of really insane.
Jake Paul has fiercely denied accusations of fixing fights, particularly in reference to his upcoming bout with Mike Tyson. He claims critics are simply jealous of his success and quick to label every win suspicious, but with a track record of facing retired or inactive fighters, fans aren't easily convinced. The Tyson matchup, given its high-profile nature and Tyson's age, has only amplified the criticism.
After I beat Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy. They showed this clip of Mike Tyson going to swing at me with a left hook, and he stopped doing it, but saw I had my right hand up. So he would have swung like this, I catch it and shoot. He's leaning forward I could have knocked him out. So that's why he stopped throwing it. And it's they play this one clip and it has literally 50 million views on TikTok, but the average person doesn't understand boxing.
Former Olympian and boxing coach Tony Jeffries offered a more nuanced take. He acknowledged that Jake's opponents haven't exactly been elite, but cautioned against automatically labeling every win as scripted. Jeffries emphasized that while the matchups may be questionable, discrediting Jake's victories without evidence may be unfair. The real issue, he suggests, isn't rigging its matchmaking.
You might be raging and saying, but he's fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men. Well, is it a fix? No, mate. It's not a fix. Is Julio Cesar Chavez past his best? Yes. Was Mike Tyson past his best? Absolutely, mate. Now, if you look at all of the great fighters, look at all of the records, and you can go on BoxRec and see this, you'll see that they are fighting either one of two people. Either a person who's a journeyman who's coming in there just to lose and give the fighter their experience, or they'll be fighting someone who might have been a former champion who is now past it. And finding these right opponents is key for the development of any fighter, not just someone like Jake Paul, but any fighter. Now, with Jake, because he's got so much attention on him, people are seeing this. Whereas normally fighters are not even live on TV until they've had X amount of fights. If you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, look what we fought in his 4th pro fight, or even his 10th pro fight. Some of these fights will not be on TV. And now Jake is on TV and he's fighting former world champions, which he's fought a few now. I think everyone should give him respect now as a fighter. Fighting someone like that and putting so much pressure on himself as well. Now, do I think that fight and other fights was rigged? Absolutely not. I think that Jake is very smart. He's picking the right fights, but at the same time, he's developed as a very good fighter now. There's no denying that he is a very good fighter now. Yes, he did lose that one fight to Tommy Fury by, was it a split decision?
Despite the backlash, Chavez Jr. maintains that he's not finished with boxing. He dismissed the poor performance as a minor setback, but fans remain skeptical. With just 13 punches thrown and virtually no offense displayed, many believe his claims lack credibility. Critics argue his post-fight comments showed a lack of accountability and disrespected the expectations of fans and aspiring fighters alike.
Well, what was difficult to do in the fight tonight that you wanted to do but you couldn't?
Our confidence, first round, and come forward. I think when I'm like back, it's not good for me. So if I'm fighting like again, like I doing this. So take the punches, but come forward and try to be more inside, because when I see him inside, his punches don't have the same power. So I think I doing a mistake in these things, like right at distance.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. I kept asking myself, why isn't he working on the inside, throwing body shots, hook, upper, you know?
Yes. So maybe more fights, a little more confidence. I need more confidence.
Jake Paul's critics point to a growing pattern: aging opponents, easy wins, and massive media coverage. The upcoming Tyson fight only reinforces this narrative. Too many. These events are more choreographed spectacle than legitimate sport. Wow, Jake has undeniably mastered the art of generating hype. It's also made him a lightning rod for accusations that he's gaming the system.
More important and quite serious news in the combat sports world. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them.
Some disturbing allegations have surfaced regarding the Mike Tyson fight. Rumors suggest the bout could involve choreographed exchanges, with Tyson allegedly prohibited from knocking Jake out too early. Reports even hint at contractual clauses designed to ensure Jake walks away unscathed both physically and reputationally. If true, such measures would cast serious doubt on the fight's authenticity.
Y'all already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. Sorry. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'll let y'all read that.
Fans increasingly believe Jake doesn't just pay opponents to show up, but to tone down their performance. These suspicions stem from patterns, low punch counts, few knockdowns, and strange endings. His sudden jump into the top 15 cruiserweight rankings following a fight with minimal resistance added fuel to the fire. For critics, it felt less like a career milestone and more like a marketing stunt.
Then you want us to respect Jake Paul as a fighter, but how you want me to respect this man as a boxer and he basically pays his opponents to lose? The culture didn't want to see that. All the 80s babies and people born in earlier time did not want to see that fight. And I think if I knew these rules, which I believe these rules make a lot of sense to why Mike Tyson really didn't fuck him up. And it's like, why do you think people want to continue to watch a Jake Paul fight when every time it's going to always be in his favor because people are paid to lose? Nah, respectfully, that's not real boxing. That's not real fighting. I'm sorry. And I know for Tyson, he's retired anyway. He's still the champ. This fight didn't mean anything, but it meant everything for Mike Tyson fans. And I'm just like, I'm disappointed. And I wasn't even going to come on social media. But like I said, once I saw Trick Daddy post that, I was like...
Observers pointed to Chavez Jr. as strange body language and sluggish punches as further proof that something was off. His movements seemed unconvincing, even theatrical. One moment that stood out was glove-biting, hardly standard boxing behavior. While some defend Jake's performance as legitimate, others see it as a calculated performance in a sport increasingly blurred with showbiz. Still, figures like Adam Smith argue that Jake's impact on boxing, while unconventional, is undeniably significant. From YouTube to headlining pay-per-views, his rise as a masterclass in branding, influence, and crossover appeal.
I mean, if he does, it's going to be one of the great stories of this generation, isn't it? They start off as YouTubers, as influencers. I love working with Logan Paul and KSI when we did that fight together. It was the sort of start of it. My kids love what they've done, the whole Misfits thing. Look. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, and that European title fight doesn't get any better. But Jake Paul has millions and millions of followers.
And that's it for today's breakdown. Whether you view Jake Paul as a disruptor or a fraud, one thing is clear: he's changed the boxing conversation. Stay tuned as the story continues to unfold.